Ho, ho, ho!
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Little Fish. Before we get into it, there is just a little announcement that I would like to make. Christmas is only a few days away, and if you were looking to get a present for someone in your life who loves fish, I would love it if you would be able to come to my new tour that I'm going to be doing around the UK as of March next year.
What?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. This is a terrible way for you to find out.
We're going on tour?
We're not, unfortunately.
Dan!
You can come.
I don't have a stitch to wear.
You can come and watch.
I can do my act.
Oh, no one wants to see that,
I've
mate.
been practicing. I can do it without injuring any of the audience by now. I really can. Oh, Dan, I'm so excited. Where are we going?
Okay, well, the show is called This Changes Everything.
And we should clarify, it's just Dan. It's not me. I'm just being a silly banana.
You could come along. I would be very happy if you
I'm going to be in the
did.
front row with pom-poms every night, Dan. It's going to be Dan on tour. Where are you going?
So, on the 15th of March, I'm going to be in Warwick, and then I'm going to be in Salford, I'm going to be in Brighton, I'm going to be in Edinburgh, Nottingham, and then I'm going to be playing the Royal Geographical Society in London. Yeah, this is going to be a great evening of mysteries, amazing facts, mind-blowing stories from history. I've put together the best of stuff that I've been digging up over the last 10 years. If you've read my book, The Theory of Everything Else, you'll know the kind of tone of it. It's all the stuff that has led to the world we live in today, but it's all the bits of history that have been swept under the carpet because people would rather you didn't know about it. So, if you like mystery, adventure, and jokes, please come along to This Changes Everything. So if you're looking to buy tickets for yourself or someone else, just put Dan Schreiber This Changes Everything tour into Google. You'll find a link. You can also find it on my Instagram at Schreiberland. It'll be in the bio. Please come along. It's going to be an awesome night. And
I'll be there.
And Andy will be there. I mean, just come to see Andy.
Sure.
Sit and watch Andy watching me. We've got another little fish for you now. These are your facts. Here we go. On with the show.
On with the podcast.
Thank you for doing that.
I didn't have a choice. Now, please, Dan, put the call through and release my family.
Hello and welcome to Little Fish, the show where we look at the great facts that you guys have been sending in over the past 7 days. Andy has gone through the inbox, as bulging as it was, and taken out the very, very best, sent them to me and to Dan, and kept some for himself. And we're going to read through them today and maybe chat a little bit more about them. So, without further ado, who's going to read the first one? Maybe Dan.
Yeah, okay. I got a fact here, which is from Eli Jones, who says that jungle gyms were invented in Japan in the 1880s by a British polygamist with the goal of training a generation of children to intrinsically comprehend the fourth dimension.
So jungle gyms, I think, is what I would have called soft play when I was younger.
Right.
For me, a jungle gym is the metallic bars that are in a sort of a crescent shape from the ground that you would climb around.
Oh, interesting.
An adventure playground?
Yeah, that's a jungle gym to me, but...
Do we know what this guy invented?
well...
This sounds like a hard play.
Yeah, that sounds like hard play.
Hard play. Well, here's the story. While living with one of his families in Japan, a British mathematician called Charles Howard Hinton tried to instill a fundamental understanding of the fourth dimensional geometry into his children. Yep.
What is the fourth dimension? Sorry to throw you an easy one so early.
Yeah, well, I know...
Imagine you take a square and you turn it into a cube.
Yep.
You're adding a third dimension. Now imagine you turn that into the next level up. That's the fourth dimension.
I've just got another cube on top of a cube in my head.
That would be a hypercube. It's really hard to explain.
Yeah.
I thought the fourth dimension was time, but that's clearly not what we're talking about here.
No, this is the fourth spatial dimension.
Oh boy.
Right.
Oh boy. Okay, well it sounds like soft play might not have been enough to do it, I'd say.
No.
I suppose, was he trying to teach children spatial awareness because they're moving through a 3D space?
Yeah.
And they're becoming, are the children the fourth dimension?
He said he wanted to help them with the understanding that we typically move in two dimensions, walking around cardinal directions, is what he said.
Yeah, so you walk flat on the earth. We're not flying. Like a bird is in 3 dimensions because it can go up and down as well, but normally we're on the ground.
If someone stops me and asks for directions, I very rarely include the 3rd dimension in my answer. I say take the 2nd left down here, and I never say you'll need to rise about 3 meters.
And then go into the 4th dimension. So to us, you'll still appear like you're in the same place, but actually you'll be in a different position in that other dimension.
Right.
It's very simple stuff, guys. So he wanted to do this by creating a bamboo grid and running drills with his kids where he would shout coordinates at them and they would scramble through the grid to get the coordination right.
Yeah.
So that was his plan. It was to invent a device that allowed for them to do that.
Brilliant.
A byproduct of it was the invention of the jungle gym.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of it, and a jungle gym you're talking about is like a climbing frame, but made of lots of boxes.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Definitely.
What was the other thing that maybe it was soft play that was invented by a guy in Manchester who saw that people were playing in burnt out cars and decided that maybe we should give them something else to play in?
Was it bomb sites as well?
Yeah, I think
There
so.
are a load of precarious sort of concrete and rusty metal strewn patches, and kids were playing on them because it was a kind of free space for them to play. And it never did them any harm.
He definitely came up with some kind of playground.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, well, great fact.
Indeed. Andy, what about another one?
All right, here's one from Andy Walker, who's sending his favourite film fact. The UK actor Richard Todd was a D-Day veteran, and I really like this. He was in a film called The Longest Day, which is a really, really famous Second World War film. It's about 3 hours long. It recreates large chunks of D-Day, basically. He was in the film The Longest Day, playing his real-life commanding officer. So he had been at D-Day himself as a young man. 20 years later, he gets cast in this film, playing the guy who was in charge of him on D-Day, and there's someone else in the film playing him as a younger man.
Really?
Yeah. And I'd never heard of Richard Todd, really. I haven't seen this film. And he was incredibly popular in the 60s and 50s, and he was a matinee idol, and he was there at Pegasus Bridge in D-Day, which he had to capture and sort of hold off really fierce German attacks to try and retake it because they were trying to shut the whole thing down. And he ended up in this film later on with a load of, I mean, it's a huge film with a lot of incredibly famous actors in it, many of whom had been there on the actual
That must
D-Day.
be crazy.
Wow.
Must have been so surreal. Yeah, exactly. Like,
And he had enough of an impact that he was a character in that movie?
yeah.
That's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really cool.
I guess
And
small regiments, you would know the names of everyone, that you were
Yeah.
talking about.
he was one of the first people on the ground. Like, he landed at 40 minutes after midnight on D-Day. He was absolutely one of the first
Did
people.
it start at midnight? That was maybe that's when the parachuting dogs landed.
I think it was when the parachuting dogs landed. Yeah.
I think we said in an earlier episode
Yeah.
that that's what came in first.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was one of the
right.
first two-legged mammals on the ground.
I'm not sure I would start at midnight because I think that's when they'd be expecting it.
Good
I
point.
think I'd start like 17 minutes past something.
Well, that's why it was such a terrible failure, because they didn't listen to you. No, that's fair enough. I don't know if it was dead on. But I did a little more reading about him and his life, and it was a very interesting life. One of his other superior officers on D-Day, this is just an amazing name I've tracked down. He was a guy called Geoffrey Pine Coffin. That was his surname.
That's very good.
It was a double-barreled name. The Pine and the Coffin families had got married to each other a century before, and they called themselves Pine Coffin. You don't get names like that anymore.
It's a brilliant name.
Anyway, yeah.
Okay, here's one from me by Dario Persicino. Thank you very much for writing, Dario, with this incredible fact that it would take just over 1,418 years to eat a full Jesus. So what Dario has done here is assumed that when you're eating a communion wafer, which is the body of Christ, that is actually Jesus. Okay. And he's worked out all the stuff. He's sent us all the working out, and I can promise you that it's all great. And he worked out that you would need 74,000 communion wafers to eat a complete Jesus. And assuming you receive communion once a week, it would take approximately 1,418 years to eat a full Jesus. He says this does not take into account any philosophical issues of transubstantiation. and that it hasn't taken into account the weight of Jesus's foreskin, which he said he knows would be a point of interest to me because that's where it was excommunicated. But he said he figured it would only make a one small wafer difference.
Yeah.
I got to say,
wow.
friend of the podcast, Jesus is foreskin now.
Absolutely.
Mentioned it
But
now.
Dario, honestly, absolutely stunning,
Yeah.
stunning bit of maths.
I wonder
Really
how many
like it.
bottles of wine it would take to drink all of the blood of Christ.
Dario, get on it.
That's in true Harkin style, that fact, isn't it? That's
I read a recent article about communion wafer which had got the blood of Christ on it.
Ah,
And they found red stains on the communion wafer and thought that's what had happened. In actual fact, it was caused by a fungus and 3 different types of bacteria, all of which are commonly found on human hands.
Oh.
now there is a theory that Jesus was a mushroom, so he could have been
Could be.
reforming on that wafer.
Right.
Could be.
Could be. That's brilliant. That's really good.
You've all taken your tinfoil hats off. What's going on? Shall I do one?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, this is from Anton Gillenberg, who writes, fact, the Vatican Apostolic Library holds shelf after shelf of self-help hiccup remedies.
Do they have the finger up the anus? Which is, I believe, the only medically certain way to cure it.
You're right. You're right.
Wow.
Digital rectal massage.
Yeah.
Is that what the Sistine Chapel is? Is God's finger
No.
coming towards...
Stop.
Adam, have you got hiccups?
Okay, so this is Pope Pius XII, who reportedly...
Friend of the podcast.
Huge friend.
Give me more on
He was the guy who said that anyone who mentions Jesus' foreskin gets excommunicated.
Oh,
He was
He
the guy
was-
whose embalming went incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
That hot summer.
yes.
Who had that crazy doctor?
He was a proper friend of the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, welcome back, Pope Pius. So, yeah, he suffered from chronic hiccups. So over the years, people from all around the world would send him all kind of remedies, from charming suggestions like being startled to the more vulgar ideas that we have mentioned on our show. I'm assuming.
There we go.
Finger
Okay.
up the bum. So, as correspondence addressed to the Pope, God's representative on earth, these submissions could not be discarded and were preserved according to standard Vatican archival procedures. So they are all there. So there's many unusual items, including all of these remedies that are now part of the collection that are maintained by the Holy See. Yeah. There's a PS to this email, by the way, from Anton, who is in Helsinki in Finland, just to add that. PS, I have actually come to possess the only foolproof method to cure hiccups. As it involves bizarre choreography, Schnapps, and singing in Swedish, it's rather difficult to explain in writing, but if we ever meet in person, I would be delighted to share it with you.
Okay, let's book that gig in Helsinki straight away.
Absolutely. I've come into possess the only foolproof method is quite strong, isn't
It's
it?
got choreography involved? Yeah, I think this is
I imagine what
exciting.
it is everyone gets some schnapps,
Yep.
stands in a circle, does this sort of really amazing dance with, your arms going one way, your legs going the other way, all that kind of stuff. Then we all say something like some ancient riddle in Swedish, and then we all put our fingers up each other's bums.
I've got one.
Yeah.
This is from Emma Wood, and I find it quite fascinating. So she sends a couple of facts. I'll just do the second one if that's all right, Emma. It's a bit anecdotal, but she says, I personally found this quite a cursed piece of trivia. Years ago, on a tour of a famous commercial radio station, I was told for their breakfast show that they use a specific voice filter to make the hosts sound more artificially happy in the mornings. I
Does
can't-
any knowledge about... is this person British, do you think?
I don't know. She says, in my research, unfortunately, cannot find anything documented to back this up. Is this a radio-wide conspiracy? Have I blown this shit wide open?
Well, we can say, because we know Zoe Ball, and we've all been on her breakfast show, that she is genuinely that happy
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah.
but we add a filter to our show. This show, we've got lots of filters on, haven't
Oh,
we?
yeah, which just remind me what they are again.
Well, we put on one which makes us sound a bit cleverer.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Dan, yours has been broken for a while, actually.
I know, I've been meaning to get that looked at.
I have the cruelness filter on mine, of course.
Hey, you've got that set to strong today, I see.
Anna, believe it or not, we've turned down her sarcasm filter.
Yeah, that's why
Time
she
and
hasn't
time
been
again.
on for 3 months. Okay, so here is another fact. This one is from Gudrun Ulfarsdottir. She says that tourists in Iceland have been tagging the place name Gjálskulda in hundreds of photos on social media recently. The weird thing is that these photos seem to be taken in lots of different places around the country. The reason is because Gjálskulda in Icelandic means parking fees apply.
Lovely. Lovely.
And apparently lots of parking lots, people have been putting up this sign to make sure that people pay, but then people have just seen it. And in fairness, it looks like it could be a name of a place in Iceland for sure.
Brilliant.
But of course, it reminds me of the Pravo Yazdi thing a few years ago in Ireland, where loads of traffic infringements had been given to this single person called Pravo Yazdi. But it turned out that Pravo Yazdi was Polish for driving license.
That's such a good
So
fact.
funny.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Should I do one more?
Yeah, go on
yeah.
then.
This one is such a fish-geared fact. You have to know an in-joke in order to like this one, I think. Caleb Groen has sent this in. I'm a long-time fan of the podcast. As a US law student, I recently came across a fact that might be of interest to you. Judging by word count, the Constitution of the US state of Alabama, sources vary, but 373,000 words is probably the best estimate.
Wow.
Is longer than Anna Karenina, which is around 364,000 as the highest estimate.
Wow.
That's the fact.
How much verbiage does it take to run Alabama effectively?
Probably there's a lot of stuff about farming in the Alabama Constitution, like there is in Anna Karenina.
Yeah, I think, yeah, Caleb basically wanted to let us know that because he said spoilers about the Alabama Constitution will probably be less infuriating to our listeners than spoilers about Anna Karenina.
That's really
That's a great
funny.
fact.
Andy, go on, give us one more.
All right, here's the final one. This is very exciting. This is from Jana Rao, and Jana is working on a sub-Antarctic? Sorry.
Isn't that where the Nazis lived?
It's the entrance to the Hollow Earth.
Sorry. I think this must mean just above the Antarctic rather than just below the South Pole. An island called Marion Island off the coast of South Africa. And Jana and 19 others are living there for 15 months doing scientific research.
Wow.
Your podcast keeps me highly entertained and puts a smile on my face in the field while we hike hundreds of kilometers in shitty weather. And Jana is a seabird researcher working closely with wandering albatross.
So cool.
So cool. And just sends a few brilliant facts about the wandering albatross. So I don't think we've mentioned them very much. And they've got the longest wingspan
yeah.
of any bird. It's 2.5 meters, roughly. And I really like this. They've got this elbow locking mechanism. They can keep their wings open for as long as they want without activating their muscles. And basically, they can fly several hundred miles in one go without flapping their wings once.
Yeah.
I just didn't really clock how far they can fly. Like, imagine several hundred miles from wherever you are.
Yeah.
It's a long way
So
away.
from London to Bolton.
Without flapping.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
one flap.
Last time I drove, I was flapping the whole way.
Right.
And so they lock their elbows so that it just
Basically.
rides the wind.
Yeah, exactly. And I looked at what's going on Marion Island,
Yep.
from where Jana is writing, and it's where they're trying to wipe out the mice, which have for years been absolutely demolishing the albatrosses. It's been a real catastrophe because
Yeah.
half the world's wandering albatrosses are bred on this island and the island next door. So it's a really important base for them.
They shouldn't be called the wandering albatross, should they, considering they have such a small...
They're all from here. It's true. Well, they do wander. Like, they can fly. Some of them have been seen flying 75,000 miles in 1 year. So they do wander.
Just a couple of flaps to get there, though.
Yeah. And basically, this island introduced 5 cats to the island in 1949 to control the mice, which were already causing a huge problem. Guess what they didn't do to the cats?
New to them.
They didn't neuter them. So then they had hundreds of cats preying on the albatrosses because it's easier to catch than mice.
Did they consider dogs after that?
Yeah, it was very much the old woman who who introduced an unneutered cat to the Marion Island. Basically, they finally have got rid of the cats about 30 years ago, and now they're going after the mice. And if they can do it, if they can do full elimination, this will be a huge boon to the albatrosses, which have really suffered their populations. So that might be what Jan is working on. Very exciting.
Very cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very
Okay,
cool.
one more fact. Do you want one that's also about birds or one that's also from an expert in the field?
Oh, I'll say expert.
Yeah,
in the field,
expert
please.
in the field.
Okay, bad news to Kirsty Blackman and her penguin fact. We're going to go...
No!
Sorry, Kirsty.
It's all right. It was just penguins can't taste fruit. That's all I got. That's what Kirsty said.
Why would they have evolved to taste fruit? They're in a fruit-free environment.
I have all the information, but we're not going to go into it today. We're going to instead have the fact from Ralph de Roa Mercado Mesquita, who writes that if elephants were to walk on the moon, their limbs would need to be about 10 meters long to maintain normal gait mechanics.
What?
So Ralph is a biomechanist and researcher in locomotion, and his team wrote a paper about what elephants would have to do if they were on the moon. I basically will just précis this. Basically, if they wanted to keep walking in the way that they walk on Earth, they would need very, very long legs based on the gravity and their leg length and all that kind of stuff.
That is an astonishing fact in that I just assumed you could transport any animal to the moon and they would be able to moonwalk up there like they do down here. Like,
When you say moonwalk, you don't mean walk backwards like Michael Jackson.
I think that's the agreed way of how you have to walk on the moon. Is it not?
No, it's
Wow.
true. But obviously, if humans walk on the moon, then we are bouncing rather than walking,
Yeah.
really, aren't we? So, the elephants would have to have certain changes as well. And
That's
Ralph
really
and his team will be presenting the project at the Society of Biomechanics in Marseille in 2 weeks from the moment he sent that email. So probably if you're in Marseille, you might have missed it.
Yeah, I think so, I'm afraid. What are they hoping to achieve with this study?
It's just fun, Andy.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I missed. I understand.
Gets
It is fun.
people interested in locomotion and gait and
Yeah,
biomechanics
yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't think they're intending to actually send elephants up to the moon.
But I think you're right. It's super interesting. And if someone did, let's say, fantasize the idea of a moon zoo, how would animals function on the moon if they were living there? There's probably so many interesting different ways that you would have to adapt an animal to be up there.
The space suit for the elephant is going to be a big ask, isn't it? Where does the oxygen go? In the nose? In the trunk? They don't need it. They don't need a helmet. They do. They just have a little thing on the end of their trunk, don't they?
I think the spacesuit is doing more than just helping you breathe.
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
Andy's like, no, I'll go out. I'll just hold my breath. I'll go out. I can hold my breath for 2 minutes. I'm going to go out, pick up a few moon rocks, come
I'm
back.
having a piss. I don't need. It's fine.
I don't breathe through my cock.
Shut up, Houston. Houston.
Your last words. I'm in trouble. I've got 3 seconds left. What can I do, Houston? It's actually Houston.
Okay, on that
Yeah.
diabolical note, we still have one more thing to do, and that is to tell you, the listener, if you are a member of the upper tier of Patreon, whether or not this week you are a new custodian of one of our facts. So who is going to go first with one of those?
I'll do one. This one goes out to Edward Cox. Congratulations, Edward. Your fact is one from another great friend of the podcast, Leven Scheider, who came on the show in episode 13 and presented the fact during the Second World War, the Nazis employed 2 official Nazi comedians, Tran and Heller. They made a series of films, didn't they? And I think maybe they got fired for being a bit too about regulations or maybe committing the cardinal sin of making fun of the regime a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great fact. And this was our first moment with Leven on the show. We've since had him on multiple times, largely when we do Nerdland, which is his festival in Belgium.
Are we going to do it next year? He's just sent us a message.
Oh, has he? Okay, well, if the dates work, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Is this
That's
an
an
official, as an exclusive and official response, Leven? If you're listening,
If the dates work, yes.
maybe. Great, very cool. Okay, I'll do one. This was my fact from episode 13, and this is for Lynn. Lynn, you are now the custodian of this fact. The Philippines Basketball Association is the world's second oldest, and names of its 10 teams include the Rain and Shine Elasto Painters, San Miguel Beermen, and Talk and Text Tropang Texters.
Brilliant.
Great
Done with an
names.
edit.
Then
At one stage when you started, I thought we were going to get all 10 teams. I don't remember this, and the reason is, was I in this episode?
Oh, no, you're not.
No.
No, I don't think I've ever even listened to this episode.
Oh, wow. It's a goodie. It's
Is
a
it?
goodie. Yeah. Well, Lynn, congratulations.
Yeah.
Here is another fact. This one is now under the custodianship of Casey Mackenzie Johnson. And the fact is that if you get a zebrafish drunk and put him in a tank with other zebrafish, the sober ones will follow the drunk one around.
Lovely.
That was
Lovely.
Anna's fact in episode 13. I feel like she was just hoping that that was what happened with her life as well. But no, this is about zebrafish, which are often used in medical trials because they have quite similar nervous system to humans
Yes,
and to
something.
other animals.
I think maybe my cousin studies zebrafish.
Really?
I haven't asked her lately how it's going. I'll have to drop her a line.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, as we can I mean, I barely know it clearly, as as we've ascertained with me saying it. But yeah. Should we have another one?
Yeah,
Let's
go
do
on,
it.
Andy.
All right. This one goes out to you, Joshua Smith. Joshua, your fact from this day forward, forsaking all others, is that the youngest woolly mammoths are older than the oldest pharaohs. Kapang! Yes.
Bosh.
Bosh. Pharaohs, mammoths. There was a time where you could have had a pharaoh riding a woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
And it's an absolute catastrophe that we didn't make that happen as a species. How stupid are we?
We didn't know that the woolly mammoth was going to go extinct so
No,
quickly.
We didn't. We
and
didn't.
we also didn't know that the pharaohs were going to die out so quickly as well.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You would have thought they'd both go on happily forever. But yeah, and the last woolly mammoths were living on this place called Wrangel Island, I think. And it's just because it was quite remote. And there are all these theories about why they died out. I think
In
a lot
Siberia, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Would the two have ever met? Do we know if...
No,
if-
there were
Absolutely
no
not.
pharaohs in Siberia.
No, but I meant ancient Egyptians. Would they have travelled at that point to that
You
area?
can't really. They did some seafaring and they did some travels in Africa, but there's no way they could have got up to Siberia, I'm sorry to say.
They wouldn't have had the warm togs for that environment.
No, those like tunics and funny hats that they wore,
Absolutely not.
they would not be good in Siberia.
Absolutely not. It's so sad. Yeah.
Dan, give us another.
This one is for Rachel Gilbert. Congratulations. You now own a James Harkin fact, which is that the CEO of Levi's hasn't washed his jeans in more than a year. Maybe 11 years at this point.
The dirty bugger.
Yeah.
No, I do remember this one, and I remember it being quite controversial in the office because I think Anna said she had never washed her jeans ever.
Yeah.
Was the
and
idea you put it in the fridge? That was the...
Freezer.
Freezer,
freezer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was one way to do it. But basically, they said that they just don't need washing. And I just straight up disagree. Still, after all this time, I think washing clothes, I mean, call me a rebel, call me a maverick, but I think washing your clothes is a good thing.
Yeah, it's not jeans are not the kind of clothes that need washing every day. You know, I try and get a new pair of pants on every day, and I don't mind sharing that on the show. But jeans, they can go a while. Because if you spill something very urgent on them, then then you need to change them over quite soon.
Yeah, I think I agree. If you shit yourself, you should change them.
Well, yeah. If you shit yourself badly, you should change them. It's case by case. Oh, I've said too much. This is why I try and keep quiet about my personal life.
Okay, let me do one more. This fact is going to Devin Parent-Stein. It appears that Parent is this person's middle name.
Yeah.
And Devin, you are so lucky. You are really getting your money's worth with this fact because it's a Dan Schreiber fact.
Wow, this is long. Is this how I said it on the day? Surely not.
I've read audiobooks that are shorter than this fact.
The thing is, we just hadn't got the hang of delivering a crisp fact
Oh
yet.
my God, the Alabama Constitution is shorter than this fact.
Devin, your fact is... The first successful transatlantic flight in 1919 was made by Alcock and Brown. At one point, they got lost in a cloud, and when they came out, they were only 60 feet above the water and flying at 90 degrees to water. A double water in there as well.
Yeah, I don't think I would have double watered it. But
Okay, mate. Maybe I typed it up wrong. maybe you actually said something that was only 5 words long, and I just got carried away when typing up the episode.
I think I would have said the first bit as the fact and then quickly came in underneath it with the qualifications.
But that's not an interesting fact that Alcock and Brown were the first people to cross the Atlantic.
No.
That's just a bit of trivia.
I think Devon would feel absolutely stiffed if his fact was that the first transatlantic flight was made by Alcock and Brown.
Well, you're welcome then, Devon, because I've included the extra exciting detail. It was pretty amazing.
Them getting lost in a cloud and flying out of the cloud at 90 degrees to the water is funny.
Yeah.
That's a funny, because you'd think there would be other signs like their drink spilling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
them falling out of the plane.
Yeah.
See, the terrible thing, I actually trimmed this down a bit before we read it out on today's Little Fish. I genuinely did.
Okay, are we going to do one or two more? Yeah, Andy, what have you got for us?
All right, this is for Benjamin. Not Benjamin, Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
It's this fact. In 2007, a woman called Evan Latimer inherited Napoleon's penis from her father.
Oh.
And we did a lot about the afterlife of Napoleon's petit corporel. Because it was passed around and inherited and probably won and lost in card games and things like that. And it's had a busy afterlife.
Yeah.
I play a lot of poker these days, but I think we are missing the time when you could just shove something on the table and say, let's play for that.
Really?
Now it's all chips and it's all like,
you
let's
could
play
do
for a
that.
fiver and stuff like that. You know, you don't get people shoving Mussolini's eyeball on the table and saying,
I feel like
Really?
all my stuff would just be rejected. Like, that's very
God,
cool,
this-
Dan, that you brought an unboxed Mork and Mindy toy from the 1970s.
We actually dispute your assessment of its worth. You may have paid 100 quid for it. That doesn't actually mean it's worth 100 quid of chips. Because normally it's like you throw your car keys on the table or your house keys or your wedding ring or something. For Dan, of course.
it's a life-size cutout of Ben Elton.
You don't,
Signed.
you don't understand. Steve Martin briefly owned this tambourine.
Oh, dear.
But I think the Latimer family still own Napoleon's privates.
Do they?
Right.
The penis, anyway.
Very good.
So congratulations, Benjamin.
Okay, and let's do one more, Dan. Hopefully something nice, short, snappy, and not too penisy.
Yep. So, Karen Janes, you are now the custodian of Andrew Hunter Murray's fact, which is to say I don't care about something. A German person has the option of saying it's sausage to me.
Is this your first ever sausage fact on the show?
I think it might be.
First of many.
I realised then that this was a rich seam of stuff. Das ist mir Wurst. I don't care. That's sausage. Sausage to me.
Sausage to me.
But the Germans love sausage, which is why it's a strange, it's a popular national dish.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually found out in a recent episode that you weren't in that they also say that's train station tannoy to me.
That's quite good because that is the sort of thing that you just let pass by you. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Huh.
The first ever photo shoot that we had with a national newspaper had us sitting down with placards with our favorite facts on it. And this was your fact, Dan.
You had that. I had one about being kicked in the head or something.
That's right.
Can't remember what Anna's was. And then Dan had a huge billboard next to him with one of his facts written on it.
There are 30 cricket teams in.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Little Fish, and congratulations to all the custodians of today's facts. If you have some interesting facts that you want to tell us, then send them over to Andy at podcast@qi.com. He will shuffle through them and send them out to us, and we might mention them next week or the week after or the week after that, or any time in the next 20 years until eventually we decide to stop doing this. If you would like to get custodianship of a fact yourself, then go to patreon.com/no such thing as a fish, and you can join the friend of the podcast tier to do that. But in the meantime, please enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you on Friday for a big old episode of No Such Thing as a Fish. Bye!